Hello, James, Oe, Ruka, JM Trad, Eternal Magician, and Beatrice. Lovely to have you all here. Okay, now we gotta play the game of fix the sound again, to see if, you guys could hear it. Hello, Apparition, lovely to have you here. Alright, the Ciconia streams are always so nice and cozy now, right now, aren't they? Oh my god, last time we got some more of those crazy special effects, eh? In that, yeah, by the way, tell me if anything's off about the sound. If, I'm too loud or the game's too loud or vice versa, or if you can't hear the music. And, okay, a couple of things. First of all, congratulations to JM Trad. His theory before release that Meow was the child of Tobitake XP. I keep forgetting his name. Oh, god damn it. Tojiro. Yeah. Yeah, Tojiro. He was absolutely right, which I bet. Now, I have to add on to this theory, and people might actually be able to spoil me this on it. Please don't. That Meow and Meow's mother is Fear Dreisig. Just to complete the Higurashi reference. I think so. I think that would be the case. Just besides the Higurashi parallel, another thing that might signify this is that we've gotten all this information that Meow is the most powerful Gauntlet Knight ever. Like, the technology cannot catch up to Meow and Meow's abilities. Like, they are so fucking strong. Like, they have to wait until better technology that can take advantage of their amazing talent comes. So, my theory is that with Fear Dreisig as their mother, I think that they might have done something to tweak Meow and Meow when they were just a baby. So, and like make them like the ultimate weapon against the three kings. And interesting. Alright, you don't know yet either. Very interesting. Right, yeah, Apparition I think is blind too. And yeah. So that's that's going to be really interesting to think about going forward. I think it is. Just who knows? Maybe Ryukishi might surprise us. It's like, ha! You thought I was going to do a complete Higurashi reference, but nope. Different mom. So, also last time, the Gauntlet Knights got their first taste of real battle. It actually went really lighthearted and heartwarmingly, in that nobody's getting hurt. They're doing best to have no casualties, and just they're going full Gundam Seed Kira on us, which, judging by the tone of this world, this might be okay now, and the battle isn't even over yet. They're all coordinating, they're trying their best. I don't know how long this happy mood is gonna last, but what I think is gonna happen, and you might have already seen it by the title of this video, is that I think the governments of the world are gonna realize that we need more Gauntlet Knights, and basically they're gonna try to mass produce Gauntlet Knights. That's what I think they're gonna try to do. And the blue Gauntlet Knight robot girls, in Fear's super secret evil lab, I think those might be kind of prototypes for them. So what I think is that the real Gauntlet Knights, in the end, are gonna have to fight like armies of mass-produced Gauntlet Knights that are just like completely brainwashed kids. That's I think that's a possibility. That's something that might happen. Like, the governments of the world are going to see, and the most unscrupulous ones are going to try to mass-produce Gauntlet Knights. I think that's what this is going to lead to, if the battle is completely successful. Because remember, it's not over yet. All right. We're certainly not full of save files here. All right. Let's get back into it. To all travelers, welcome to the harmony and culture of the Abrahamic Brother Nations, the AVN. We welcome you to the St. Florian International Airport. To all travelers, welcome to the harmony and culture of the... Today, AOU Japan announced that it has taken military action against the anti-aircraft base being constructed by COU Japan on the Glass Sea of Japan. Japan. Breaking news. The COU Combined Military has attacked the ABN Pakistan military guarding the Kashmir Spirit Field. The Glass Sea of Japan was on the other side of the world. Whether spears or missiles were raining down there, it had nothing to do with the people here. However, if their own faction had been attacked, even if it was at the far end of it, that was a different matter. The news bulletin made crowds of travelers stop in their tracks, apparently focusing on the news monitor of their mental displays. Yeah, okay, I think I'll stick with the Eva voice for her because she seems to be really haughty. So it's finally begun. Tojiro, has your son made an appearance yet?
He has! Thanks for asking.
Weep! Is the music too loud, or is it fun? Just tell me, make sure, because I know the music in Ciconia can get loud. I love this song, though.
We're caught up in Gauntlet Knight fever over here. It looks like they'll be handing out their first Medal of Honor since the last war.
Congratulations. I'm sure Meow worked hard to destroy only the targets without causing any deaths. It's just a bit too loud? Okay, yeah. Umineko and Ciconia have different volumes. Alright, I turn the music a bit down. Tell me if that's okay.
At least he thinks he did. I hope he's not so naive that he really thinks that was enough to stop a war.
Yeah, no way it was that easy.
Now he probably does think that. Yeah, of course it does, definitely. He acts the way I expect so much, it's just adorable.
So they were manipulating him to do that. But that's good, right? I wonder, are Sashat's ears, are they like a cybernetic thing or some kind of genetic modification she's had done? Just to look like an Egyptian goddess? Or who knows, maybe she really is the Egyptian goddess. Who knows, maybe that's a thing. Entirely possible.
When he was 4, he had a bunch of toy cars sitting out, so I told him to clean them up. And reluctantly, with a seriously upset face. And after that, he... Dang, if he isn't so cute.
Hey, Mr. Tojiro. I get that your son is cute, okay? Still, kids truly do believe that they're the main characters in this world, and that no pieces exist on the game board other than the ones they can see. I really do think he's naive. However, I don't dislike that sort of attitude. Damn, manipulated by their own father. Ah, jeez. I mean it.
Of course! After all, giving the people's hope is a king's job.
Is she one of the three kings? No way. That wouldn't make any sense. No way. Then again, I suppose that's one thing we should be theorizing. Are the three kings anybody we know? Because there are so many side characters who have sprites as well. Huh. That's a good thing to theorize, actually. You really are funny, Tojiro. I suppose you really can't be a jester without a good mind. Well, obviously, Tojiro is not jesterous. Obviously. So they're just making a fun reference, I guess. Still, the old always fall. It's always the young who defeat them, who last until the end. If defeat is unavoidable, it sure would be nice if Meow was the young person to do it. Grand Master, yeah, that again.
Nothing could make a father prouder than if the one stepping over his corpse is his son, Grandmaster.
Good for you. Looks like you're enjoying your fatherhood.
Oh, and what if we're talking about what made Meow so cute when he was little? When I was lying face down, he'd crawl up onto my back. His hands were so teeny tiny, I don't even know how to describe it.
Oh, sorry. It's about time for me to start my job. I'm hanging up.
Oh, pardon me. I just got lost in thought remembering things about my son.
Yeah, they said that the three kings were old. Yeah.
Still, you know that there's no need for you to dirty your own hands, right?
A Grand Master must interrogate traitors personally, passing judgment with their own hands. That's responsibility left to the one who serves as Grand Master of our order. Interesting. There's so many organizations at play. I wonder... So there's a traitor in the organization that Sashat and Tojiro work in. I wonder if they're... You know what? I wonder if they belong to the same organization as Fear Drysig. And oh, is Sashat talking about... That's it. I bet you that they're in the same organization as Fear Drysig. And Sashat is talking about the guy that we saw the perspective of that went into her lab. I bet that's what she's talking about. The traitor that they're talking about is the one that went into Fear Drysig's lab for the Three Kings. I really wish that their organization had a name. The one who ultimately signed off on welcoming that person into the Order was me, so it's the Order. I think we'll just call it now. It's the Order versus the Three Kings. I must bear responsibility for that. And besides, even if they're 99% guilty, It's still the Grandmaster's role to believe in that 1% of innocence before checking personally. And that last 1% mustn't be decided with electronic information or heavily pixelated video. People can measure each other's true intent only when they're face to face. That's also possible, Beatrice. That's also possible. But I think it would tie together neatly if the person Sashat is talking about, if the traitor that she's talking about is the one that we know is a traitor that went to Fear's lab. I believe that's the only way to do it. So then, I'll hang up. Please believe in his innocence. Sashat could be seen in an ABN International Airport. Its magnificent furnishings had led to it being chosen as one of 10 most beautiful airports in the world. However, there were also hidden cameras everywhere, leaving no blind spots whatsoever. Sashat seems less impressed by the furnishings and the number of hidden cameras than by the artfulness with which they have been hidden. Right then, Sashat was walking through a section only P4 pass holders could enter, commonly known as a VIP area. Only celebrities and business executives who didn't mind paying the 10,000 credit annual membership fee could set foot here. Though it was a place that only those extremely trusted by society could enter, the train is gonna pass by me anyway. God damn it. There we go. Sashat was still being tracked by more than 3 cameras, just walking through a corridor like this. Movement patterns from those images were constantly being monitored by AI, and if you did anything suspicious, it would immediately shift to a state of even higher surveillance. That AI shifted from its normal mode to a suspicious one. It was because Sashat had stopped walking in front of a door she didn't have permission to enter. Beyond that point was a set of rentable rooms that had been set up within the VIP area. The AI knew that Sashat didn't have an entrance pass, so it identified her stopping there as a suspicious act. Ooh, I'm excited, apparition. The security camera shifted into a more precise mode, checking Sashat's actions in detail. After standing in front of the automatic door, which didn't open, Sashat raised her right hand. Then a green glowing tablet appeared out of thin air, so that her fingers were resting upon it. How futuristic! The suspicious individual is using a mid-air tablet. Zooming in on tablet. Model unknown. Function unknown. Raising suspicion level. The mid-air tablet would project an input device in mid-air if you just raised your hand, allowing you to enter commands just like tech that often appeared in H2W period sci-fi. Hey, jeez. These days, mental tablets were considered normal, but just up until a half century ago, these had been more popular. However, manipulating something in empty space can be hard on your fingers, so the public reception of this tool was unexpectedly poor. I always wondered that too. Like, when in all these sci-fi shows, when you see people typing in midair, how the fuck do you even know what you're doing? Because I picture your finger, when you're trying to slide from one key to another, your finger is going to go right through that key, and like, it's going to be messy as fuck. Typing is very tactile, and You need something to touch, even if it's just a flat surface with symbols on it, like on a phone. Still, just like how the popularity of digital watches didn't eliminate all analog watches, these devices were still preferred by a few people with certain tastes or playful attitude. The suspicious individual has suddenly gained access to the room, raising suspicion level, concluding that access to the room was most likely not granted through proper means. Raising suspicion level. Raising. Suspicion level is now high enough to alert the security room on airport security guards in the area.
Hello! There's nothing suspicious at all for you! Don't worry! There's a magic spell to lower the security level!
Lowering suspicion level. Lowering. The lower threshold for identification as a suspicious individual has been passed. Switching observation back from suspicion mode to normal mode.
And I'll do you one better for you! It's okay, you can deserve a bunch less than that for you. As always, thanks for your hard work for you. You're getting sleepy. Very sleepy.
Oh my god. Carapoyo is the final boss. Seriously. How could the final boss be anything else? Like, I just don't get. Oh, thank you, Guppy Force. Welcome to the stream. Really? You think it's unique? You know what? You know what that voice is based on? Guppy Force? Have you ever seen Digimon Tamers? The English dub. That voice is based on Gilmon, who was my absolute favorite. Digimon Tamers is an incredible show, by the way. You should really watch it. It's the best children's anime I've ever seen. Seriously, I was such a fan of that. My god, I still am, honestly. I don't... Seriously. I love, I spent a lot of time trying to imitate that voice when I was younger, because I loved Guilmon to pieces. Sashat's eyes met the security camera. The tagged info on Sashat within the security camera flickered for a second and was then completely erased. The Tamers is the third one, JM Chad. It meant that the airport security AI no longer identified Sashat as an object. There you go. Also, delete all the records from the time I arrived at the airport. It's been a long time since I've taken a trip in the flesh, so I let a lot slip my mind.
Roger that, bro!
I love the first one too, JM Chat. The first one is my second favorite. Honestly, the first one is amazing. Oh yeah, Ruka? Yeah. Yeah. 3 in 1, like, I can take or leave the rest of Digimon, but Tamers and Season 1 are really something special that deserve to stand the test of time and be considered classics, I think. I was the world's biggest Digimon fan. When I was younger, seriously.
Roger that, player. That's true, master. If we didn't do that, it'd look like you suddenly evaporated from an airport corridor for you.
The data collected on Sashat by the airport security system was erased retroactively. Of course, that wouldn't erase it optically. Only the records generated by the AI had been erased. So that means if anybody goes through manually, she's screwed. However, Sashat's interference went even further than that. Oh, did she? Holy shit! Karapoyo was a deep faker. My god. Seriously, Karapoyo is gonna be the final boss. I'm calling it. Watch it, like, they think everything's dead, then suddenly out of the ground rises a gigantic Karapoyo robot that all the Gauntlet Knights have to work together to defeat. Calling it now. That is the end of Ciconia Phase 4. What's gonna happen? You can quote me on that.
Now searching for you in all video records throughout the airport and altering the video for you. I'm gone, Pollo. Kiddo.
It does remind me of Ghost in the Shell. Absolutely, Owe. This part completely reminds me of Ghost in the Shell. Huh? Was that a bit too much power for Karapoyo to handle? You can do it, Outie Frog. Sashat had given it that task casually, but in fact, the request was far from a reasonable one. Normally, it would have been impossible to interfere with the security system of an ABN international airport, as they were particularly well equipped to deal with terrorism. And she had done it with a few causal taps. I think that's misspelled here. I think there's a typo here. It should be casual. Understandable why they missed it. And she had done it with a few casual taps on a mid-air tablet, almost as though she was adjusting a thermostat. Doing such a thing would require a massive amount of machine power. If Sashat was using a Cellcom to do this, it meant she was using her own brain. Oh my god. That was impossible. To not only interfere with the airport's security system, but also to remove her image from footage taken by hundreds of security cameras, literally erasing the fact that she had been there, was something a single human brain couldn't possibly do. I know causal is a word, but it doesn't exactly mesh with the sentence. Is what I mean. Good work. I'm satisfied. I'll turn you off your app, so take it easy and defrag yourself or something. Exactly, Guppy Force. It's a word, but it's the wrong word. Yeah, I think.
Thank you.
Guess it's time to go. Time to pass judgment. In a conference room, old men wearing suits and military uniforms were watching news bulletins on their mental displays. There was the AOU's attack on the Central Glass Sea of Japan, and the COU's attack on the mining machines in the Kashmir Spirit Field. I literally just thought of how to do that, OA. I have no idea how I did that, but I somehow figured it out. My god. Is this an actual... Did Ryukashi just like record some random background talk or something? What the fuck is this? Is this some kind of secret spoilers? I bet somebody is going to take out this sound file and see what is actually being said here. It's got to be some kind of Easter egg. like to decode what is being said here in the background of this, because this is just, it really sounds like somebody talking. Yeah, it's more than one person talking. What? Yeah, this is like a whole conversation. Did Ryukichi just go to like a random mall and like leave a tape recorder and like record people's background conversations or something like? I can just picture that. I'm sorry, you probably didn't do that, but just picturing that is too funny. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to get that out of my mind here. In particular, the COU's attack was the world's first actual combat and major victory, featuring only Gauntlet Knights, and the COU's releasing video after video, causing a stir around the world.
It's still hard to believe, but I have to acknowledge it. It all really is proceeding as you predicted.
Okay, who is this guy? They do exist, Your Excellency. A group trying to turn the clock back to zero, so they can restart the world and civilization. The World Reset Cult. Is that the Three Kings? A thin old gentleman with sharp eyes said this with a mysterious gaze, and yet he doesn't have a sprite. Throughout all of history, all so-called elites had been enamored at some point with the idea of thinning out an unsatisfactory, foolish humanity, rebuilding it into a more wonderful civilization. God damn it, Ayn Rand. World reset cults like this had often been used as evil masterminds in movies and novels, and though the concept was extremely well known, no one believed that they actually existed. After all, no one with enough influence and wealth to destroy the world would take the contradictory step of rendering all those resources useless. I'm gonna just use the Kinzo voice. Yep, it's the Three Kings. Yeah, he's talking about the Three Kings.
This is the plan that they, the Three Kings, have written.
A folder had been set on the table. It only seemed to have a few sheets of document in it, but according to this man, the upcoming fate of the world was written there. In other words, it was a written prophecy that told of the world's destruction.
The only ones who could stop this plan are the mediators of peace in the A3W world, the LATO International Peace Mediation Association.
In other words, you want us to bring about the A4W era?
Of the 5 factions that divided the gold, only LATO can serve as the leader of the new order. That is our conclusion.
Does this suited guy, he probably works with Sashat's organization, the Order. In the A3W world, LATO was proud of its position as the world's police, the world's chairperson, the world's judge. And by having a monopoly on rare spiridium, one day we're going to find out what spiridium is exactly. That's going to be explained eventually, I think. Maybe not in this episode, but eventually, I think. It had gained immense wealth, making its countries the richest on the planet. However, they hadn't been regarded as such in the B3W era. Even now, the way they had been viewed back then still lingered, and they were sensitive to the way some people muttered about their current prosperity, saying it was due solely to the fact that they were lucky enough to have huge amounts of rare spiridium in their backyard. I wonder, is there a difference between spiridium and rare spiridium, or are they just qualifying spiridium as rare? Like there's there's the rare earths in terms of metals. There's rare earth elements, and there's regular elements. Ruka, you think Spiridium is Mako? You think it's the live stream? You both think Spiridium is the live stream. I mean, with a name like that, it very well could be the live stream. Who knows? So if you suggested that they could become leaders of a new world order by funding a massive cult planning a world war, it would probably make for an incredibly enticing prospect. Ridiculous. Who would fall for a story like that? These two, yeah. I'm gonna have to repeat some voices because there are a ridiculous amount of characters in this story. I'm sorry. They must be thinking the same thing. They say that they brought something today that would convince us to believe, even in a story like that. The young Leto Gauntlet Knights were there too, possibly as guards and possibly as secretaries.
Naturally, Leto will never abandon its duty to work towards world peace. However, the technology known as Gauntlet has surpassed and broken down all the worlds of peace and the common sense of the old era. Unless we have something that can surpass even that technology, I'm afraid it'll be impossible even for us to prevent the war that's about to occur.
The news streaming on their mental displays made it clear that Gauntlet Knights weren't just things from video games, but super weapons that actually existed. Military commentators were saying that quite clearly that this day, the day on which all existing forms of military power had been rendered obsolete, would be recorded in history as a major turning point. It was only natural. They could fly like fighter jets, be armed like carriers, withstand all attacks like tanks, and set foot anywhere like infantry, allowing them to invade any location. With its abundant military funding, Leto didn't indeed have a slight lead on Gauntlet development. However, it certainly wasn't an overwhelming one.
We are prepared to offer you technology that will be sufficient to maintain peace in the new world.
I bet you that they're talking about the mass-produced Gauntlet Knights, the Gauntlet Knight androids, or whatever they are, the blue ones. Yeah, this is probably Sashat's organization, which is probably the same as Fear Dreisig's organization. I bet that it is. Or the suited man is with Fear Dreisig and Sashat is separate. We really don't know. I'm trying to just, from my own mental clarity, it seems like everybody is against the Three Kings. And I'm just trying to sort this out. The Three Kings have spies in all of within the Gauntlet Knights. At least one spy in the Gauntlet Knights. And they also had a spy in Fear Dreisig's lab, which may or may not be the spy that Sashat was talking about. Chojido works with Sashat as a secret agent against the Three Kings, so in the order. I feel like I need a conspiracy board here with pins and connecting threads to just make sense of all the myriad factions and the secret factions and the factions out in the open and everything.
We are prepared to offer you technology that will be sufficient to maintain peace in the new world.
As he said this, the man took a Duralumin case, which had been held by a man who looked like a bodyguard, and put it on the table.
What is that?
This is called wisdom.
Oh god, Ruka, I know what you're gonna do. That's gonna be hilarious. Oh my god, jeez. Yep, I'm pretty sure with what he's saying here. Yeah, he's definitely with Fear Drysig's faction. Yep, okay.
Do you understand?
No, I don't. Please explain.
It means something that's beyond humanity's level. I love that expression on her.
Who are you?
Unlike the blankly staring officers, the suited men were shocked by Sashat's appearance, and their eyes went wide. Yeah, jeez. Except for the thin old gentleman seated at the table, that is. Except for the thin old gentleman seated at the table, that is. Okay, yeah, okay. I think we just confirmed that, Sashat and Fear Drysig are the same faction, or the Order, which means Tojido is in the same faction as Fear Drysig. So, they're actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure Meow is some kind of experiment, in addition to being the child of Fear. The only people who enjoy calling this by pompous names of name of wisdom are insane. We simply refer to them by number. Kind of run. So what do you work for? The SCP Foundation, Sashat. Is that which SCP is that? By now, the people guarding the Leto officers were starting to realize that she was an uninvited guest. Damn, it's gonna take a while till we get to that SCP. They're only in the 4000 series right now. Holy shit. The number and name of that thing in the attaché case is 1908663806006. Ah, I can't talk. 0630. If deciphered, it might possibly be a key to a puzzle that consumed Fear Drysig, the so-called third missing link. And is merely a small, stellated, truncated dodecahedron, weighing 403 grams. My god, this really is an SCP! Holy shit! Made of a silver-coated metal that can probably be divided into 381 parts by 99.999% of humanity throughout recorded history. Okay? Interesting. That's like a date. Oh wait. Coming through in the clutch. It's like yeah. June 30th, 1908. Oh. What happened on that day? Did anything happen on that day? I think that's too early for World War I or II. What happened on that day? Is that the Wright brothers? I wonder. Or was that 1903, I think? Tunguska! Was it Tunguska? Oh, wow, that makes sense. Yeah, somebody Google that if you want. It's Tunguska. Okay, yeah, Beatrice coming through in the clutch. It's the Tunguska event, so yeah, this is literally a fucking SCP. Okay. I'm guessing it's a Thaumiel class, given that they want to use it to help.
If properly used, it's a splendid bit of wisdom that can be used to prevent a world war before it starts.
I'm sorry. No offense to humanity, but I need this world war to proceed according to the plot.
Everyone allow me to introduce you.
Oh, wow, no, I got it wrong! God damn it! Oh, fuck. Okay. Ah, fuck. So she is, okay, damn it, so they all know each other. Fucking hell. Shit, so she is part of it? Oh no. I got it wrong. I thought she was against the Three Kings. Oh, god damn.
This is a member of the World Reset Cult, Her Excellency Tashat, Grand Master of the Order of Prometheus. Though I don't know her real name. She is also my superior officer.
Too bad. I did think you were a clever one. Did you really think you would be able to fool me?
There was no time! This was the last chance to stop World War IV in its tracks.
Oh, she's gonna fucking go nuclear and kill everybody in this room, isn't she? Oh my god.
That's crazy! Do you really think you can destroy the world?
Your Excellency, please stand back. You there. Do anything suspicious and I'll show you no mercy. Theirs look like freaking brass instruments. Jesus Christ. The two of them use their dimension containers to instantly equip their gauntlets. Oh god, Sashat! Oh god, Sashat is gonna show what a badass she is by killing them or something. Oh god. She's a boss, isn't she? Oh fuck. The other troops pulled out their guns and readied them. However, Sashat, who had all those guns pointed at her, and the suited man, didn't act as though these actions had any particular significance to them. Oh my god, so, oh no. That means freaking, oh, fuck. I should have realized because Tojiro was going for, like, all for humanity down to go down the right path. Oh god. But Tojiro looks like he doesn't like working for that organization. Oh, maybe there's hope for him. Oh no, that means everybody we know is working for the fucking Three Kings though. But then why does, oh no. Mr. Gray, do you admit that you betrayed our order? But I think that's the shot. Okay, based on what she said, she wants to become one of the Three Kings. So that's what she was talking about before. She wants to be a rival to them. She wants to supplant their position in the organization. I see. Okay. I have to reset my brain here for a second. Sorry. I thought she was... Okay, that... Now it all fits together a lot more. I hope Meow can turn Tojiro around. Oh god. The suited man called Gray answered immediately, without his calm smile faltering in the slightest.
Aren't you the one who betrayed our order, Your Excellency?
You think so?
The Order of Prometheus' greatest goal is to protect wisdom and use it to save humanity when the time comes.
Interesting. Yes, when the time comes. Oh, god damn it. Sorry, accidental.
The time has come! In the A3W world, where weapons of mass destruction have been eradicated and the powers of deterrence have been lost.
Interesting, so there's no nukes.
Even the existing military forces that served as guardians of the walls of peace have now vanished. And as the three kings have planned, the world is heading towards a final war. Now is the time! If we don't intervene, they truly will destroy the world!
Except that the only one qualified to give that order is the Grand Master. Me.
You are the one who betrayed the order!
Mr. Gray, don't tell me you've forgotten. Don't you even remember where our order came from?
The Order of Prometheus began as a brother of the Ninth Prime Chivalric Order. Are you saying that even when they went their separate ways, their goals and intentions remained the same? What sophistry! You sold the pride of our order to the three kings! You should admit that, Your Excellency.
There, at least we view things the same way. We both view each other as traitors. And then, you took my property without my permission. Okay, so Gray is probably the guy, maybe, I'm gonna say maybe Gray is the guy that was with Fear Dreisig. That was being led around the secret lab. So either way, Tojido and Fear are still part of the same organization. Which just increases that likelihood.
Wisdom is not something you personally own. It's a shared resource that was given to humanity.
Nope. No good. It's mine. I won't let you have it. That.
Your Excellency, on this day, I'll have you step down for your position as our Grand Master. Your Excellency, take her into custody.
There's two Your Excellencies here. Exactly, jeez! Oh my god! Which Your Excellency are you talking to?
Oh, me! This is so confusing.
Yeah, you're telling me. Capture her at once! Oh god. She's gonna fucking murder everybody in this room. As soon as he gave the signal, weapons appeared in the hands of the Gauntlet Knight girls. The order was to capture her alive. They're dead. The thing that appeared in Mark Harmon's hand and looked like a large handgun immediately spat fire. However, instead of a bullet, it fired multiple electrical discharges and sparks. That just rendered your Cellcom inoperable. You can't call for friends or activate any funny apps now. Cellcoms were controlled by the brain. Simply restraining someone's body wouldn't truly rob them of their freedom to act. Law enforcement agencies in all countries were equipped with electric guns that could rapidly disable the Cellcom of anyone they wanted to take into custody. Huh? Just put your hands up. There's nothing else you can do.
How unsightly! You must have several cards you could use to negotiate with.
That's true. I've got plenty of them.
There are the other pieces of wisdom that you possess, as well as the information and connections you have. If you want to use those cards most effectively, you should interact with us in an amicable manner.
There! Oh god. I think that's enough, Mr. Gray. You're guilty. Now then. Yep, she's gonna fucking murder everybody. Allow me to proceed to your sentencing. Oh, yep, she's got a super Egyptian one. Here we go. Yep. We switched to another scene. Oh boy. Goodbye, Lato Gauntlet Knights. It was nice knowing you. The inside of the large vehicle which had once been dimly lit, was now filled with a billowing white smoke, as well as the brightness of the African sun. The ACR soldiers were stunned, and the next instant a single girl burst in from the heavens, leaving a trail of angel feathers behind her. The man in handcuffs in the center rear seat is our target. He's the leader of peace who was ejected from a refugee camp. Gotta fly to the big league. I'm gonna think this is her.
Gotta fly to the big vehicle that lost its real power.
Common sense that said that her kinetic energy should have wrapped the car in an immense explosion, but as a result of her intensive training, Naima was capable of killing her G's and instantly stopping within a centimeter of her target. Then, Naima grasped the head of the target, who was still freaked out and unable to understand what was happening, and banged her forehead into his, staring into his eyes.
His retina pattern matches. I'll confirm that he's a target. Wow!
Get out of there. We'll provide support.
Wow!
The soldiers on either side finally realized that this was an enemy attack. They tried to grab Naima, but her job had already been completed in a few seconds. It was too late. Like, yeah, exactly, JM Chan. The handguns they pulled out were immediately knocked away by Naima's rejection shield. My god, the rejection shield is OP. The next instant, Naima flew up into the air, carrying the target. Gauntlet Knights could withstand sudden acceleration thanks to their anti-G8MS, but that wouldn't work for the target. For that reason, she wouldn't be able to fly like a bullet, like she had on the way in. She had to slowly ascend like a kite dancing through the air.
Why are you sitting there? Fire! Fire! I don't care! Shoot that dude dead!
The line of armored Humvees left loose with their mounted heavy machine guns, but of course that meant nothing to a Gauntlet Knight. All of the bullets that rained on her were merely repelled, along with scattered feathers. Still, she had the target with her. There was absolutely nothing wrong with her being extra safe. Yeah, it is Beatrice. Just then, things like small fireworks exploded several times around her. There were smoke grenades used for providing cover, which Naomi had launched. Naima was immediately swallowed up by thick, highly opaque black smoke.
Don't let a single smoke screen stop you! A little smoke screen stop you! How can the military and the glorious ACL royal family to the captive be stolen back from them? Fire! Fire! Just shoot anything!
Wah! Yeah, help me!
From beyond the smokescreen, a horrifying burst of gunfire shot towards the line of cars, like a dragon licking the ground. Its source was a revolver cannon Stanisław had summoned. That weapon's rate of fire, which is created for the sake of fighter jets flying at each other at extremely high speeds, was truly astonishing.
Don't hit them! Don't let any of our enemies or allies die! Meow will get mad at us, wow!
I understand. We just need to distract them. Yeah, they're going all Gundam Seed on us. The fearsome rain of bullets, along with the dust it kicked up, had already thrown the line of vehicles into chaos. Now it probably wouldn't even be possible for a stray bullet to graze them. By the time the smokescreen faded, Thalathotsu'Yuf had already escaped into a safe area. Still, that's our Naima for you. To rush toward the target from the sky at that speed, I couldn't have looked like anything more than a dot, and then stop at exactly the right location. I know I couldn't do it. Give her a small dose of sedative. It looks like she's getting overexcited after performing that so beautifully. Let her enjoy it a bit longer. After all, this is Thalathotsu'Yuf's first real fight and our first victory. her, and then she starts pulling stunts while holding the target. I suppose I'll watch over her for a while. Meow sent a message. Sounds like he was able to succeed in his mission without any casualties on either side. If the COU news coverage can be believed. Interesting. I love the way you said that. Ling Ji's group also succeeded in their mission with any casualties on either side.
We had a huge success too! Woo! La 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 la!
Now it's just Princess Rethabiel left. That is the princess we're talking about. She's up against the AOU Atlantic Fleet, but I doubt she's screwed up. Shutting down an AOU America carrier assault fleet without any casualties, huh? The world's going to change a lot after today.
That's so right! This big and old soldier's time is so over! But now our young people are gonna be so Sky's guardians as feast to defend the world peace! Wow!
Naomi, I'll need you to do it after all. Roger that. Okay, Naima, it's time for your meds.
Ah! Ah!
Huh. Rethabiel sent a message to all the public bath members. It's just a stamp. Oh my god, she sent a freaking emoticon too. Jeez. It looks like it was a big success on her end as well. That settles it. On this day, the concept of military power has been completely altered. Naomi, I really like you. You remind me of a Raven from Teen Titans. The good Teen Titans. The game has been changed. Stanisław! Validating my choice of title for the video. Hell yeah! You demand! Oh my god! Flying over the Great Blue Seas was the June 1st King's Tour Memorial Squad, also known as Squad 601. It was the cat led by Rethabiel. Their expressions were calm, filled with confidence and dignity. And in the distance behind them, a carrier fleet was disappearing beyond the horizon.
Princess, even the rejection shield isn't invulnerable. I ask they refrain from using such foolful methods next time.
There's no point craftily flying about in hiding. Sometimes a ruler's fight must be straightforward to a fault.
You've got a point. You didn't even scratch the enemy ship, but their fighting spirit really did fold in half.
It wasn't just the Atlantic fleet that folded. Today, the pride of old soldiers across the planet must have folded too.
Today, the game has changed. We young Gauntlet Knights would take the role of being the world's guardians of peace. And we'll cut down the sprouts of war. Cut down just the sprouts of war without hurting anyone.
That public bath oath of meows might really stop the next world war from happening.
Still, I didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry, I switched them around.
That public bath oath of meows might really stop the next world war from happening.
Still, I don't think the princess would be so moved by Meow's naive words.
Ideas without power are merely naive delusions. However, we have power. Today, we Gauntlet Knights have risen to the peak of the world's military power. So we aren't naive. Meow's ideals, the oath we all made in that public bath, every part of how we swore to protect the future peace of this planet, deserves to be engraved in history.
Well, it definitely feels good.
Now, no one's gonna call what we do an e-sport. Now, if we could just change the story a bit, so that it was the princess who proposed our union of peace, instead of Meow, everyone's gonna look.
Ooh, that's a great idea! It certainly would be nice if they thought I suggested the public oath instead of Meow!
Oh crap. What's wrong all of a sudden? Oh crap. Seriously, oh crap. I know we've just been flying all nice and cheery, but really, we seriously just fought off a carrier fleet.
We didn't fight them off! They accepted a forward-looking present from the ACR royal family and triumphantly returned to their homeland.
That's true enough. That certainly was a heartfelt royal family present.
This is the flagship of the Atlantic Fleet, the aircraft carrier Roger Jameson, reading you loud and clear.
Whoa, what's going on here? Why did you pull back? Why did you retreat?
What is the historic, invincible Atlantic Fleet of our heart's homeland?
Turning tail and running from a fight?
I've already sent the details to Command Center. Have you not looked into the battle data yet, Your Excellency?
I didn't look at that. Are you saying I'd be satisfied if I did?
Whether you're satisfied or not, it's a fact. We were unable to stop just 3 knights from the ACR Aerial Augmented Infantry. At the moment, we've accepted a gift from the ACR's Commonwealth King, and are now returning to port.
A gift? What's that giant thing in this image?
It was an image of the ship's bridge. Those Mathis things lying scattered behind the captain were... They're ACR heavy torpedoes.
How on earth did it get there?
Because they paid our bridge a visit and put them here. Oh my god, damn! Bertha Beale, you've got style, girl! Oh my god. Whoa! Holy shit! Damn! She knows how to... Diplomacy. Jeez. Holy shit. Because they paid our bridge a visit and put them here.
What?
She is a motherfucking queen. My god. Anyone looking at this image of heavy torpedoes scattered about a carrier's bridge would have thought it was a bad shot. But it was real. There were heavy torpedoes lying around on the bridge of the Atlantic Fleet's flagship. Bertha Beale's group had announced that they would initiate a hostile engagement with the Atlantic Fleet. After receiving that message, the Atlantic Fleet had prepared to fight back, and after taking necessary precautions, had formally entered battle. They hadn't held back in any way, either to reduce casualties or because their opponent was an ACR princess. They gave it their all as soldiers. From a reasonable height, interceptor fighter squadrons had targeted the ACR cat as it skimmed right over the water's surface. They attacked with air-to-air missiles, but these were all intercepted. Then the entire air suppression assault of anti-swarm cluster rockets was either intercepted or blocked by shields. All of the fleet's anti-air missiles and air suppression missiles were dealt with, and the enemy aerial augmented infantry squad approached the flagship. Gatling guns used for ship defense were activated, but they couldn't catch up with the enemy's ricochet flying, and the rare bullet that hit was stopped by their shields. The enemy force then reached the outer wall of the flagship's carrier bridge. This wall was then cut using a specialized tool. They then entered the ship. The captain decided to avoid needless casualties. At that moment, the battle was over. These monsters, who had not only slipped through the curtain of missiles and Gatling gun fire, but who had even borne the brunt of that assault, had already broken into the ship. This wasn't something that firearms held by guards within the ship would be able to do anything about. On the bridge, the enemy force demanded that the Atlantic fleet surrender. The ACR Royal Family wishes to show its respect for the AOU Atlantic Fleet with this courtesy call. And as a sign of our friendship and high hopes for your future endeavors, we brought you a gift. Princess Brethabiel personally took these heavy torpedoes out of her dimension container, set them here, and left. Their fuses had been removed, so there was no danger. However, leaving a souvenir on the bridge of a flagship sent a clear message that anyone could understand without words. At any rate, if they wanted to have... Oh, this is just narration, sorry. At any rate, if they wanted to have these objects removed, they would have to return to port.
Whoa, 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 whoa! You... Are you saying you just sat there and watched? Didn't die! Take them out of the cost of your lives if you have to.
Oh my god, this idiot.
Compared to the honor and tradition of the Atlantic Fleet, your life isn't worth...
Oh god, what an idiot. The times have changed. Or rather, it's predicted for a while now that the times would change. And yet, we called the aerial augmented imagery nothing but a dream. Until the moment they were actually put into use, we weren't able to understand them, that's all. No, we were probably capable of understanding them. However, we were so scared of a future where all our honor and accomplishments would be overridden by new technology, covered in dust and buried, that we pretended not to notice. I'm sure the same goes for you.
Ah!
Ah! He's having an Ace Attorney breakdown here. The old man, whose face had gone red and his eyes were spinning, finally blew his fuse, foamed at the mouth, and fainted. When faced with new technology, I think it's right for old soldiers who can't accept the new era to graciously withdraw. It's already been a century since the last World War. Alright, see you, OA. The military's bad tradition of idolizing fighting spirit is finally crumbling before our eyes. Nothing could make me feel more honored than bearing witness to the moment that era ended. We're returning to port. Transmission over. Normally, soldiers are supposed to solemnly obey their orders without acting for personal motivations and performing nothing more or less than the mission. However, ever since the start of the A3W era, people had been more concerned with the eradication of WMDs and maintaining a healthy military balance. I'll see you, OA. Have a good time at work. In particular, the struggle for medals in the International Boundary Standard Festival of Peace became a soldier's main focus, and they were treated more like sports contestants. As a result, the bad aspects of soldiers and athletes fused, creating more and more followers of a baseless, bold, mysterious theory that fighting spirit trumps all. Unfortunately, people like this ended up achieving success by revolving the military around the concept of fighting spirit. In the end, old people who wanted to cling to past glory, or else who simply wanted the young to experience the same unreasonable suffering they did, controlled the young's lives as if they owned them. The appearance of Gauntlet Knights would be more than a revolution of military technology. It would also give them a chance to take the role of servants of peace, back from the old people who have remained in the military, ruling by emotion. As the fleet returned to port, most of the sailors were unable to recover from their shock. However, a very small group of them realized that they might just have borne the witness to the dawn of a new age. Hold on a second. Yep, we're back at the airport. This is where Tojiro was, I think. To all travelers, welcome to the harmony and culture of the Abrahamic Brother Nations, the ABN. We welcome you all to the St. Florian International Airport. To all travelers, welcome to the harmony and culture of the... It's the exact same announcement as before.
Today, AOU Japan announced that it has taken military action against the anti-aircraft base being constructed by COU Japan on the Glass Sea of Japan. Breaking news. The AOU Atlantic Fleet has pulled a U-turn. We've also had reports that the AC aerial augmented infantry repelled their advance.
Here we go. Yeah. A passenger jet that had just taken off was flying towards the ocean horizon, and their in-flight service was just beginning. Sachat was sitting in an elegant first-class seat. Everything's orange. Is this the Nickelodeon plane or something? Everything's freaking orange. My god. Yeah, now it's different, Ruka, yeah. I can get you some champagne too, if you like. What to do? Yep, she fucking murdered everybody in that room. Oh no! Even worse! Oh god. They're gonna be ripped to shreds, aren't they? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh god. Where am I? So, you finally woke up. You're always such a sleepyhead. Huh? A hospital? Why are we... Really? Okay. Damn, she spared her. I thought for sure she was gonna fucking murder everybody. Really? Wow. She went easy on them. Sachat is gonna be a major boss, isn't she? Jeez. Ah, boy. She went easy on everybody. I did not expect her to spare everybody. Oh god, wow. Whew! Okay, everybody's okay. That's good. True, Beatrice. She probably just went after Gray, yeah. We were all found lying on the ground in an airport conference room. A conference room? According to my reminders, we apparently visited the St. Florian Airport today to guard His Excellency. Really? My mind feels hazy. Weird. I can't remember how long I've been here. So she erased their memory. Okay, interesting. Huh? You aren't the only one. The same goes for me, His Excellency, and the other people with us too. They got their memories erased, and Gray is probably the only one dead. Okay, yeah, that makes sense, Ruka. No one could remember why they had visited the St. Florian airport. Even as the high-ranking Leto officer who had led them here, couldn't remember what their plans had been. Could it be that we were attacked somehow, and our memory was erased? Huh? That's probably a fair assumption, but isn't too realistic. This was an era where a cellcom could write data to the brain like a hard drive. So it wouldn't be strange if there to exist technology that could delete memories from the brain too. However, a cellcom could only interact with unused areas of the brain. It couldn't interfere with parts of the brain that humans normally used. This background is going to be used in memes a lot, isn't it? I can already tell. For anyone thinking of theories, I bet this background is going to be used a lot. Oh my god. I'm sorry. The internet has fucking ruined images like this for me. God damn it. Okay, this is because the human body had powerful defense mechanisms that tried to expel foreign objects. Naturally, this applied to memories stored in the brain too. The human brain has far more noise than you'd expect. So no matter how clear thinking you are, you're always being showered by a large amount of false information. However, the reason the brain can retain memories of real experiences without getting confused by this is because it weeds out foreign influences like false information. In the end, a cellcom merely rented space in unused parts of the brain, so no matter how much it interfered, it would only affect the cellcom hard drive itself. It could write and erase cellcom apps and text as it pleased, but it certainly couldn't rewrite memories of the human brain at will. Technically, this sort of thing had been achieved in the lab, or so was said. However, those were just experiments performed on rats, and for those minor feats, ridiculous amounts of time and equipment had been needed. In other words, it was fair to say that interfering with human memory was still impossible, in practical terms. Huh? And yet, in fact, we have no memory of why we were there. We went there, or why we were lying on the floor. Anyway, if we want to know why we were all at an ABN airport, and why we were lying on the floor, we should be able to find out by looking at the footage from the airport's security cameras. Wrong! Even if we don't have our memories, there should still be records of it. And this is an ABN airport, which are well known for the number of security cameras they have. We should be able to find all sorts of information. There was nothing. Huh? There was no electronic data, or visual data, or analog data that was in any way suspicious. Do you know what that means? They had visited St. Florian Airport in the ABN, led by a high-ranking Leto officer. However, all their memories of their arrival there were vague, and they certainly didn't remember why they had come there. The airport surveillance video showed that they alone had entered the conference room. They had probably been planning to make contact with some kind of VIP. Otherwise, why would they have come all the way to this foreign airport? I have no idea what this means. Huh? That's right. The meaning of this was a complete mystery. Thinking about it was a waste of time. Even the analog record left in His Excellency's notebook didn't tell us anything about our purpose for today. It could be even that was erased. What the heck? Should we get abducted by a UFO and our memories wiped? Huh? It's a shame. But we checked around, and we haven't been able to think of anything other than that. You've got to be kidding me. This is getting creepy. His Excellency understands that we may have been victims of a high-level attack. He's asked our homeland to investigate the matter immediately, but... Oh, I'm sorry. His Excellency understands that we may have been victims of a high-level attack. He's asked our homeland to investigate the matter immediately, but... It was really eerie, but their homelands had ordered them to drop this matter entirely and return home at once. By drop this matter, that meant for them to feel no suspicion, nor anything that seemed strange, return as though nothing had happened, and then forget about the whole thing. Oh my god. What the heck? Hold on a sec. Are you serious? That's totally creepy. I agree with you there. Huh? Could it mean that it really was aliens? Oh my god. Alright, I know what's coming. It's Mary Carmen with a picture of the aliens thing. Jesus Christ. Or you know what? The Mary Carmen and the two strong hands, like handshake with Rena, with aliens. She's like in the center of the handshake. Oh my god. Exactly, Ruka. Rena just breaks through time and space to say, did someone see aliens? Oh my god, Later on, we'll have to check each other to make sure we don't have any strange bits of metal buried in our heads. At that moment, everything shook jarringly. It was an earthquake. Ever since the start of the A3W era, in addition to earthquakes related to tectonic plates, it became possible for modern earthquakes to break out anywhere in the world. So people everywhere had experienced earthquakes and were used to them. Interesting. I wonder, damn, that does not bode well. Probably has something to do with what happened in World War III. It wasn't anything particularly rare, but it startled them more than it should have. It felt like the pulsating of a monster in an abyss that surpassed human knowledge. You know, I think I will have some champagne. As you wish. I'm getting old, after all. Just a little job like this, and I've run out of gas. Huh? I would not be surprised in the least if she actually was an Egyptian goddess. Chess is a game where opponents compete for victory. As long as you take your opponent's king, it doesn't matter how many other pieces you lose. Introduction to chess for good kids. No, I already know that. Beatrice Karapoyo is obviously the final boss. Absolutely. Karapoyo is just underground. He's preparing for his big entrance in the finale.
For you, it's time to get the apocalypse. For you, it's me. I'm actually God. For you, bow down. For you.
Jeez. The meeting ground for Gauntlet Knights, otherwise known as the It's a Wrap public bath, was bustling with activity. It was packed, not just with aces from all countries, but also a crowd of Gauntlet Knights and candidates that had been gathered via friend requests. Before long, there were several hundred of them, and Karapoyo lost his temper because gathering so many people into a single room was way too big a load to handle for you. Because of display limits, it looked like there were only a few dozen of them there. However, this really was a gathering of allies from across the world. Finally, Jaden, it's in forever.
We immediately switched to flying so low we could lick the ground into attack. And you wouldn't believe the way we suddenly rose up and transitioned into a swift strike.
After sleeping past the barrage, pounding the ocean surface, and the splashes he kicked up, I floated right up to the Roger Chamberson's bridge just like that. The aces bragging about their feats were surrounded by trainees and candidates gazing enviously at them. Oh god, I feel so bad for the candidates. Oh my god. So, you flew between rocky mountains like that? At a super low altitude during your approach? Your maneuvers look beautiful too. I'm glad to receive your praise. After all, by flying beautifully, you also minimize the strain on your body and your energy loss. As the aces inspected each other's battle data, they were surrounded by groups of Gauntlet Knights on active duty who wanted to join them in the field someday, and a passionate discussion was taking place.
Yeah, that's so wonderful. I came down from the sky like sweet.
And that fresh feeling of kicking off the sea, bouncing off a fleet of warships, and leaping past the radars of Aegis-equipped destroyers. Well, I can't imagine anything better than that.
Apparently, most of them were talking about the thrill of actual combat, or else getting excited about the prospect of doing it themselves someday. It was only natural that they'd be so ecstatic. News stations all over the world were announcing that on this day, Gauntlet Knights had become the main source of military might. Before, the military had treated them like a division of gamers, limited to simulator work, a toy division used for exhibition flying, as if they were some kind of rare beast. And now, overnight, they were being hailed as heroes. By the military, no, the entire world.
Ew! These people are getting so full of themselves that they're going to just actual fight. That's super annoying, meow.
Was I not chosen first because I was too immature? A small group of them stood apart from the tumult, sulking. I'm sorry, but we didn't have enough time for any of the B teams to do anything. Oh god. Yeah, none of the B teams got a chance to do anything. Only the A teams had a chance to do something, to do stuff. I'm sure the B teams will get their chance to shine. Or they might have to end up like Class 1B from My Hero Academia. Jeez. However, unsurprisingly, even though they were happy to know Gauntlet Knights had been entered the limelight all over the world, militaries all over the planet are in shock. I hope the shock helps to cool the heads of those fever-addled fools who want to start wars. A fever is only a symptom. Until the cause has been eliminated, the fever will only come back.
I agree. Still, I think we did give a rude awakening to those morons who want to profit from war.
You know, I think they had that effect. It did have that effect.
In the Kashmir Spirit Field, the people in charge have started arguing over who was it decided to start mining. Masterminds are all pathetically playing dumb, looking for scapegoats. They're saying their diabetes had gotten worse, so they need to go to be hospitalized. Serve them right! If we prevent the people from hoping for war for actually accomplishing anything, they'll definitely lose their positions. The healing power of people who want peace will definitely make the situation better.
A lot of people heard Meow's claims and nodded excitedly. Right then, the sense that they were supporting the walls of peace felt more real than it ever had before. However, there was also a group that wasn't excited at all, and was just calmly discussing the state of the world going forward. Their mission was to be guardians of peace. Victory was only one means of achieving that, and it wasn't a job that would ever end. After all, making sure a world war never occurs again is the biggest mission imaginable.
Didn't the COU announce that they would retaliate following that attack?
Don't worry about it too much. The COU Foreign Relations Department always talks tough.
They only talk tough to look good within their own country. If they really were furious, they respond with actions instead of just words.
But isn't there a saying about how thoughts become words and words become actions? Here is how each faction responded to the Gauntlet Knight battles that had occurred simultaneously around the world. First, the AOU. They announced their victory in the fight in the Central Glass Sea of Japan far and wide, causing a big stir within their borders. Gauntlet Knights were the new heroes of a new era. Hollywood would probably be filled to bursting with scripts about Gauntlet Knights. And there were lots of calls for a return to the B3W's era's glory. Make the AOU great again! Jesus Christ. AOU! AOU! Oh, wow. On the other hand, the incident where Rethabiel's group had repelled the Atlantic Fleet had been heavily covered up. Young people already knew from the internet that the ACR Gauntlet Knights had fought off the fleet, but the media paid suspiciously little attention to it, so mistrust of the media was growing. Next, the COU. At first, they announced their major victory in the attack against the Kashmir Spirit Field far and wide, but when that gradually calmed down, voices of outrage and discontent regarding the AOU attack on the Glass Sea started to grow more prominent. Humans are creatures who quickly forget things that make them happy, but hardly ever forget things that people did to them to make them angry. In contrast to the AOU, angry points of view were common, and every day more and more people were saying that they couldn't leave things as they were. They had to get back at the AOU. In the midst of that, the COU had practically pointed its finger at the AOU and announced to the world that they believed in taking preemptive action for the sake of world peace. It was an incredibly disturbing announcement, so naturally, it received criticism from all over the world. However, now that Gauntlet Knights had appeared and changed the game, those who attacked would be able to apply much more pressure against the walls of peace. Besides being attacked, would have to apply a lot of pressure themselves to counteract that, and in that sense, it might be fair to say the COU understood the military balance of this new era the best. It was mutually assured destruction, a Cold War, only with Gauntlet Knights instead of nuclear weapons. Let's see, Romania accent. God damn it, can I do a Romania accent? Fuck. Can I? Like, I can do Grave Mole pretty well. I have their voices down, but all the other three B teams have gotten so little screen time that I don't have their voices quite down yet. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm gonna keep trying. Like Grave Mole has gotten a lot of screen time, so I've gotten them pretty well. The way they say it's disturbing, but in the interest of maintaining a healthy military balance, it's the correct decision. If you approach, you'll be cut down. But if both sides gauge the distance to their opponent, facing off respectfully against one another, they'll never get within the range of each other's swords. To the guardians of the walls of peace, having to maintain that level of emote tension is perfectly normal.
If you look at it that way, the best plan might be to take the most passive approach, like the ABN.
Well, it's hardly desirable for a group of nations serving God for the sake of peace to rejoice at who wins and who loses in wars between fellow humans. The ABN have responded to the situation more quietly than any of the other factions. The hostage retrieval operation, performed by Thalathatsuya, was being treated as a protective measure taken for the sake of human rights. And except for a few overexcited people on the net, it garnered hardly any interest. True, they had been attacked by the COU in the Kashmir spirit fields, but many had calmly concluded that a small group of high military officials who had forcibly started mining for personal gain had only gotten what they deserved. Since no one had been killed in the attack, the ABN had used this opportunity to dismiss the officers who had run wild, hoping to somehow reopen negotiations with the COU and settle the matter peacefully. Out of all Meow and the others' plans to pluck the sprouts of war, this one had gone the best. Still, though I think it was a good adult decision, from a perspective of supporting the walls of peace from both sides, is it really okay for them to one-sidedly pander to the COU? It probably just means that this time, they thought it was more important to dismiss those who disobeyed the Leadership Council and went rogue. When it comes to maintaining a healthy military balance, pandering should be avoided. But in this case, they decided that it was more important of it to fire out quickly.
Looking at it that way, we might be turning up the heat a bit too much on our end. Our media's getting a little too fired up.
The fact that the ACR had managed to repel the AOU Atlantic Fleet was the biggest upset they had seen since the founding of their nation, and they were partying every day. In particular, Rethabile was being treated like a heroine or goddess of war, and it was apparently getting pretty crazy. It would have been fine if they were just partying, but some people were taking it in a more worrying direction. Once, Africa was colonized by several large countries and suffered for years and years. The moment had finally come to pay those people back for all that hardship, according to this troubling view that seemed to be popping up here and there.
It feels like more and more people are saying you're unpatriotic if you don't agree with that view, and it's scary.
A silence that seemed to concur with her words slowly spread, even to the boys and girls from other nations. No matter what the faction, no matter what the country, no one was able to say that they'd never heard anything like that. That irresponsible, inflaming atmosphere, where if your country lost, they had to get even, and if they won, they had to keep winning. And if you didn't agree with that, you might as well be unpatriotic. I didn't want to ruin the mood today, so I didn't bring it up, but that happens a little in the AOU as well.
Those who found out on the night that Atlantic lost are apparently chomping at the bit for us to attack the segmented warship Atlantis with Gauntlet Knights.
People who don't support the walls of peace always say stuff that sounds brave.
The same goes for the COU. Several of my young relatives have been pestering me, saying we should take revenge for what happened in the Glass Sea and attack AOU Japan.
Princess, there's no need to let that get you down.
Withstanding views like that, it's our job as guardians of peace, is it not? It's our job. Oh my god. The walls of peace need to be supported, not knocked over. Our peoples, our superiors, none of them understand. Nationalism exists in all countries. For the nation and its people, it's a sense of pride, of ambition, and it's even the foundation of their souls. However, from the perspective of maintaining a healthy military balance, everyone had been warned that while nationalism may be a necessary mineral, it's only good for you in small doses. It can become hazardous to your health when taken in excess. It was also well known that nationalism combined with peer pressure could lead to a deadly social chemistry, as the Healthy Military Balance Oversight Committee was always careful to emphasize. Furthermore, its binding force was as powerful as carbon monoxide combining with hemoglobin, and it could result in severe hypoxia to a nation's ability to reason.
If the world grows chaotic and peacefulness disappears from the hearts of the people, that start to listen to the voices of evil once seeking to lead them astray. Nationalism is like the shingles virus. It lays low when you're in good health, but its symptoms show up when your health weakens. I hope the world and its people get along healthy soon. Wow.
My nation must also calm itself down quickly from this feverish excitement. The Atlantic Fleet didn't retreat because the ACR won against the AOU. No one understands that the Guardians of Peace achieved victory by dispelling military tensions. They're probably confusing actual fighting with the Battle Standard Festival games. In sports, there is some significance in who wins and who loses, But peace doesn't work that way.
Instead of us kids, it's the adults who are having trouble telling the difference between games and reality. In the end, whenever people group together, they never think of anything good. Ugh.
Oh God, Koshka. Koshka's words to herself, which were heard by those around her, landed heavily for said something so briefly. After all, it almost sounded like she was talking about the crowd of people who had gathered in this public bath, excited because the age of Gauntlet Knights had arrived. Koshka had always hated being near other people. She had only become a member of the public bath that would make it easier to get Wangadora friend requests. So to be honest, she wasn't remotely interested in the noble ideas and oaths of Meow's group. She had agreed to the oath on the surface, but she had really just been bowing to peer pressure. However, though they may not have been as sarcastic about it as Koshka, some realists here did doubt whether the collusion taking place in this public bout would really be enough to pluck the sprouts of war. Most likely, about 10% of the people gathered here felt this way. However, there was no way to tell that by looking. Everyone seemed to be celebrating excitedly, but they were only pretending to join in. Either because of peer pressure, or because they were trying to read the room. True enough, the Gauntlet Knights currently in this public bout were this world's military might. If they swore to work together for world peace, to uproot the sprouts of war and to defend peace, the world peace might actually become a reality at the hands of young people, something that has never been achieved before in all of history. Or rather, one might be forgiven for thinking that way. However, as someone had already said, the conflicts, confrontations, and collisions of war are only the symptoms. Coughing, runny noses, and headaches are just symptoms, not what you're really fighting against. Unless you completely remove the source of the illness causing all these symptoms, you're just treading water. You're taking a temporary cough or fever medicine. Even so, if you're healthy enough that the source of the disease is healed before medicine wears off, then it really has saved you. Even so, if you're healthy enough that the source of the disease is healed before the medicine wears off, then it really has saved you. But what if your health fails? Temporarily treating the symptoms won't do you any good anymore. Someday, Gauntlet Knights might end up fighting each other. They plan to fight according to the rules of sportsmanship and resolve the situation together. But would that really be possible? all previous tools of the military were now obsolete, and it should have been possible for anyone to foresee a future in which the sole remaining tool, the Gauntlet Knights, would have to fight each other. And yet, every single person here, including Meow, was acting as though they hadn't noticed this. Had they really not noticed? Or they were only pretending not to? Or did they truly believe that by deepening their friendship, they would be able to control everything that had happened going forward, avoiding a world war? Here we go, 3 hours back.
Do you really believe it? Do you really think that you're just gonna glide through this problem all chummy like that? Of course, I realize that fights between Gauntlet Knights will happen sooner or later.
Okay. So you know what, this might be a good place to stop. Right as 3-0 has started. Do you know how long their speech is here? Is it best to stop right here for 3-0 or just go after their speech? Ruka. Yeah, Guppy Force. Yeah, you could tell I'm getting a bit tired. But it's also a bit early. Sure, thank you, Ruka. Sorry, just a little bit of an intermission here. Just checking to see how much is left in the chapter. The speech takes a while? Okay. So it looks like it worked out this way. With, I'm sorry, it's a bit shorter than usual, but this one will be continued in 4 days. I really want to see it. I can't believe they resolved everything peacefully, but who knows how long that's going to last. So basically all the characters we know work for the Three Kings. Although Sashat seemed to have all, like, the secret characters. Although Sashat seemed to have her own agenda. And that also means that Virdrysig and Tojiro are part of the same faction. So the idea that she could be Meow's mother is really, really likely. I think anyway. I think we might be about halfway through the story at this point. But thank you so much for joining me. I know it's weird with the private stream, with the unlisted stream, but someday everybody else will see this back when, I imagine around the release of episode 2, it'll be okayed or something like that. I imagine then. Because they'll probably want people to be able to stream episode 2 as well. So what's the point of disallowing the rest of part 1 if part 2 is going to be allowed anyway? So thank you so much, you guys. And in 2 days, we are going to continue Umineko. So I'd love to see you all there for that one too. So until then, I'd like to say, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night, for all the sweetest of hearts. See ya.